Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut, really, to getting informed without feeling totally overwhelmed. So today we're diving into something that affects well over half the world's population, but, maybe surprisingly, doesn't always get examined that closely.
That's right.
We're talking about menstrual products, specifically pads, tampons, and menstrual cups.
Yeah.
And our mission here is to explore a really candid personal story about using these to give you some, practical insights and maybe some surprising facts that cut through the usual noise.
And it's important because there's just so much, misinformation and just silence around these things, even though they're everyday items for so many.
Right.
So looking closely at one person's journey really shines a light on why understanding these personal experiences is, crucial for navigating this whole area.
Definitely.
It means the knowledge you get today isn't just academic, it's, actually useful, immediately applicable.
Okay, so let's get into it. Our source today is this really open conversation from a podcast. I think it translates to something like Truth About Periods, an open conversation. And this woman, Priya, shares her journey with all three types. She actually kicked things off with menstrual cups. Now, the way cups are often talked about, you'd think it's super straightforward, maybe even effortless.
Yeah, that's the image.
How did her first try sort of challenge that?
Well, her story really brings out this significant learning curve that people don't often mention. She talked about inserting and removing the cup, causing this weird kind of pain sometimes.
Pain? Where exactly?
The vaginal canal itself, the passage leading up to the cervix. She thought maybe it was down to sensitive skin there.
Okay.
And it does make you ask, right? We hear all the benefits, but what about the initial hurdles, the discomfort some people just inevitably run into?
That really does add a layer you don't often hear about.
Yeah.
And it didn't stop there, did it? What else did she find tricky with the cup?
No, she also mentioned taking it out could get pretty messy. Blood getting on her hands.
Right.
Plus, a really common thing, the cup not quite opening up properly once it was inside.
Ah, okay. So it needs to seal, right?
Exactly. That's how it works. Creates a seal so nothing leaks. If it doesn't pop open fully, then, leaks are going to happen.
So how did she fix that?
She actually had to insert a finger to sort of rotate it, make sure it was open and sealed, which, again, she found messy and sometimes a bit painful.
Wow.
But here's the flip side. Once she did get it right, once it was properly in place, she said she couldn't even feel it. Incredibly comfortable.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How specific those challenges are, but then the payoff, the comfort can be so high.
Totally.
It really shows that kind of nuanced reality of the cup. It might be tough to start, but potentially amazing long-term if you find the right fit and technique.
Absolutely. And thinking bigger picture, it just challenges that smooth, easy narrative you often see in, marketing. It really highlights that, the long-term pros of cups are huge, but getting started, that experience can vary wildly. It can involve real hurdles.
Yeah.
And that reality often gets glossed over. It's such a critical insight for anyone thinking about trying a cup.
So after navigating all that with the cup, she also talked about the, let's say, more traditional options, pads and tampons. What was her take there?
Well, pads, she found, were just the easiest. Super simple to use, simple to get rid of, no pain, no hassle.
Makes sense.
And she pointed out that's probably why they're the first choice for most people starting out.
Right.
But being external, they also have a different feel, right? That sort of wet feeling or bulkiness that some people really don't like, which pushes them to look at internal options.
Okay, and tampons.
Tampons, she saw clear advantages, especially for managing a heavy flow during the day, made going to the toilet easier, too, compared to, say, a cup.
Right, that makes sense. But then she shared something really specific about tampons, a detail that I think many people might find, surprising, almost counterintuitive.
Yes.
She described an issue with tampons actually absorbing urine. And you might be thinking, hang on, aren't those totally separate systems down there?
Exactly. That's the common assumption her experience kind of pushes back on.
So what did she say was happening?
Well, she explained it pretty clearly. A tampon has that string, right, hanging outside. And when she used a larger size for heavier flow, the very bottom end of the tampon itself would sit quite near the vaginal opening. So when she urinated, the urine would pass by, come into contact with the tampon.
And since a tampon's job is to absorb,
it just does its job, absorbs whatever liquid it touches. She was really clear this happened to her multiple times.
Wow, okay. Who knew a tampon's job description was quite that broad?
Right. It's a detail you almost never hear discussed, but for some people, it could be a very real thing and maybe a big factor in what product they choose, especially during the day.
It really does make you pause, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Like, how many other little practical things like this are shaping choices for millions but just aren't talked about?
It's a great example of why these candid stories are so valuable.
Totally. And yet, despite that daytime issue, she actually had a very specific thumbs up for tampons for nighttime use, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, despite the whole urine thing during the day, she explicitly said tampons are the best for overnight.
Interesting. Why?
Her reasoning was simple. You put one in before bed, wake up, and it's done its job absorbing the blood, usually without any leaks.
Okay.
She even mentioned that the tampon often comes out feeling kind of dry in the morning, apart from the absorbed blood, which just shows how well it handles menstrual fluid overnight when you're lying down.
Right.
And she also added, for the last couple of days of a period, when things are much lighter, a pad is usually fine then.
Okay, this deep dive has really given us such a practical, unfiltered look at these products. It feels like we've really unpacked things.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen the menstrual cup reality can be tricky at first, maybe surprisingly so, but potentially super comfortable if it works for you.
Yeah, that personal fit is key.
Then pads there, just straightforward simplicity and ease. Can't beat it sometimes.
True.
And tampons with those like really unexpected details, the whole urine absorption thing, which is wild.
Definitely a surprise for many, I think.
But also their specific strength for overnight use.
Yeah.
It really drives home how valuable hearing these honest personal accounts is for getting actually useful info. Cuts right through the standard stuff.
And the bigger takeaway here, perhaps, is just how valuable understanding individual differences, physiological differences,